Hey guys, Andy here. I've been saying I was going to make this video for, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks probably, and it's been delayed a little bit because I bought the OnePlus 6T, but I've also kind of, in some ways, been putting it off just because I thought at some point I would decide definitely this is the device I'm going with, this is the keeper, and I still haven't. so we're going to do this video. It might help me decide. You guys might help me decide in the comments. I'm quite a logical guy. I like my numbers and ratings and stuff like that. So what I've decided to do is rate each device on different areas. Be it design, be it hardware, be it camera, screen, speakers, software, battery, extras, and cost. So what I'm going to do is go through each of those categories. Of just a probably brief chat about it. I don't want to go into great detail. If you want to know about the devices themselves, I've done reviews of each one of them. I'll put links to them somewhere for you. So I want to spend a lot of time in each category, and I will show you the gradings that I've given them, and then at the end we'll have a look at what that gives us, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with the design. The Note 9 is a big bulky device. It's quite heavy, the heaviest of the lot, but it feels well made. Although there's curved edges, they're not too curved. Generally feels quite good. The Mate 20 Pro is too rounded, really. The edges of the screens are they're just too rounded that it's quite awkward using the sides of the screens. I do like how it's quite a thin device though in the hand, which actually makes it feel a lot smaller. It's also not too heavy, so that's reasonable, but the rounded edge is a bit of the issue. The Pixel 3 XL is just a beautiful phone. It gets top marks in the design category just because I just think it's gorgeous. It really is very, very nice. Love the etched back, the sort of gloss top, and then the etched underneath. It feels quite wide in the hand, but at the same time quite thin in a depth way. So generally I would say it feels good in the hand. So top marks for the Pixel 3 XL. And the OnePlus 6T, it's a nice device. It's a little slippy. It's kind of a good middle ground of all of them, but I wouldn't give it many points for design. As far as hardware, the things to sort of see there are actually the Huawei Mate 20 Pro whoops everybody's ass at benchmarking. It's just the Kirin 980 with a 7nm chipset. Everything else kind of in the device, the hardware really is very good. The Note 9 and the OnePlus are both kind of, they're okay, they're good hardware. And this is why I actually marked down the Pixel 3 XL, mainly because of its benchmarks and its power, its raw power. I don't think the hardware is just that good, and it's often what is kind of one of the complaints about the Pixel devices. You're paying for the software in many ways, and others can copy and replicate that. Then we come to the cameras. Now, the Note 9 and the OnePlus 6T, in their own right, they look to have reasonable cameras. When you're looking at just the images you've taken with those devices, they look okay. I think when you put them up against the Huawei and the Pixel 3 XL's results, you realise that they're just not quite as good. The Pixel 3 XL, love the front-facing wide-angle selfie camera. Actually, I like that more than I thought I would. The lone lens on the back, though, means that the zoom is going to be just like digital zoom. Even if Google are trying to do some of their trickery to make it look better, it's still a little limited in that. And actually, the magic of the Pixel 3 XL camera is all in the software. But none of them really, I don't think, can hold a candle to the Huawei Mate 20 Pro's camera. The results aren't massively different from the Pixel 3 XL, but then you throw in there the ultra-wide-angle lens and the 3x zoom, and I think it's a fairly easy winner. So we mentioned the screens. All of the screens actually are fantastic on all these devices. The Note 9, I think perhaps just through its sheer size of the screen, gains an extra point. And the notch on the 3XL costed a point. It's just that bad, it's just that big, unfortunately. So the Samsung device comes away with the top screen, and unfortunately I would say the Pixel, although visually actually the Pixel 3 XL is really good, I found the notch quite an issue when I was using it, and this is where I've decided to dock it a point because of that. It's only a point, to be fair. Could argue it should be more than that, but definitely it needs to come off. Speakers is quite an interesting one. The Note 9 speakers and the Huawei speakers are both okay. The Note 9 slightly better than the 2. To me, the Pixel 3 XL speakers were probably the best, but I heard a lot of people complain about distortion, and it's a little weird that the lower speaker is louder than the top speaker, but I would still say they were the best speakers. And then the OnePlus 6T doesn't have stereo speakers, so it loses a point, but it still scores very highly because it's just so loud. I really like the speaker on it, very, very good. Onto software. The Galaxy Note 9 actually, I would say the software is quite good. I know it's got a bad rep from having TouchWiz way back in the past, but these days it's just not that offensive. There's some nice touches in there. I like the power management, the battery management, the things like the camera app have some nice touches. So it's actually pretty good. The Huawei Mate 20 Pro, this is its big sort of Achilles heel. If you were to listen to the forums, I should be giving this 1 or 2 points. I've not really had as many problems as other people, so I'm kind of wavering 2 or 3 points at this point. The Pixel 3 XL, stock Android, instant updates, slick and smooth and fast. I still don't think you can really beat it, so that's going to have the maximum 5 points. The OnePlus 6T also does very well because it's very close to stock with a few nice little tweaks in there actually. At some point I need to knock some points off for its fingerprint sensor though, and I'm going to do it in the software. It's just really not very reliable. Other people say fantastic, no problems at all. I'm getting kind of a 50%, 60% success rate with it. So I'm going to knock a point off, or even 2, I don't know, we'll see, in the software. The battery is quite a close run thing. In fact, the 3 of the devices, the Note 9, the Huawei and the OnePlus 6T, are all getting full marks. They're either sort of 93 or 93.5%. The Pixel 3 XL on my test, my hour-long test, the Pixel 3 XL came down to 91. It is by far the smallest battery. It might improve over time because of Android's magic sort of battery optimizations, but I still think it has to come in kind of quite a bit behind the other 3, basically, in the battery scoring. So then we talk about the extras, which is kind of the sort of just extra things that manufacturer's kind of managed to tack into Android onto their device. So, for example, the Note 9 has the S Pen, really, really useful. It's got DeX as well, which I think is great, even if I don't really have much of a use for it myself. So, high point scoring there for the Note 9. Huawei have their own desktop mode. They've got fantastic facial ID, in-screen fingerprint reader, reverse wireless charging. I could throw in there again the 3 lenses on the back is quite a sort of an extra and unique point, although we've already given points for the 3 lenses. The Pixel's extras are generally software related, like Top Shot, Night Sight, although Huawei has their own version which is just as good. And my concern with software, if I'm on Dragon's Den, like I watch sometimes, and they have somebody come in and say, "Oh, this is my product," and they had the Pixel with all the software things, people were saying, or the Dragons would be saying, "Well, what's stopping someone else just doing that?" And I don't think there is much stopping other people. I'm sure that the others are going to, come up with their own Top Shot, and Samsung will do their own Night Sight and things like that. So that's a bit of a sort of a drawback for me. The OnePlus 6T doesn't really have any extras. It's got the in-screen fingerprint reader and a tiny notch, I suppose, but the fingerprint reader is not particularly positive, as I've already mentioned, so it doesn't score very well there at all. Cost is quite an easy one. The Note 9 and Huawei costing the same, £900 for 128 gigs. The Pixel 3 XL, if you want 128 gigs, is going to cost you $969 unless you find it on offer, like it is at the moment. And then the OnePlus 6T is a long way underneath all of those at $499 for 128 gigs, which clearly gives it the top marks in the costs. So you may have been keeping score as we went. There's no need to. I've done that. I'm not an idiot. And on the screen somewhere in here, you will see the final results all totaled up. You'll see the Note 9 wins, which is weird because I don't feel like I want that to be my main device. I don't know. This is the confusion for me. So logic says to me, having gone through that, and I puzzled over a lot of these scores quite a few times, not looking at the total and trying to fix them to be what suits me, just trying to make sure that I've got them right. And the Note 9 has come out on top. At the minute, I'm still using the Mate 20 Pro just because that camera is just so good, and I just love having the wide-angle lens and all that kind of thing. And the night mode, fantastic. So then I thought, well, maybe I do need to put like a weighting system in. So I did. Weighted each item out of 10. If it was 5, it meant that it was just an average 1 scored 1, but if it was 10, then kind of 1 would score 2, and if it was 1, then it almost didn't add anything to this total score. And that actually made things like, I don't know, generally quite even closer, I would say. And I don't know, this is my quandary. Which phone is actually better? So again, my numbers say the Note 9 is the best, the Mate 20 Pro for me is second best, then the Pixel 3 XL, the OnePlus 6T. But even, you look at the OnePlus 6T, I really like it. If it wasn't for that fingerprint sensor, so I did knock a mark off somewhere for that in the software, I think. That would have been 38 or 39 with the weighting. It would have been right in there with the others. It's such a tough decision. At the moment, I am, despite it not actually winning my test, I am leaning towards the Mate 20 Pro, mainly because of the cameras. I don't know, maybe I should change the weighting on that to 15 or something, I don't know if I'm thinking it's that important. But at the same time, when I do go back and use my Note 9, I do, I find myself thinking, oh, it's such a good device, such a good phone. But then when I had the Pixel, I was using the Pixel 3 XL earlier to do something else, and I was kind of thinking, this is actually a very nice phone. It's such a tough decision. So, I've probably got lots of you kind of, I don't know, throwing things at your monitor already with the scoring that I've given. What I'm going to do, hopefully, I'm going to share the document that I used to set the scores up. It will be set to view only, but if you make a copy, you can fiddle around with them yourselves. I'd really like to hear about it in the comments. So make the copy, change the gradings however you see fit, change the weightings how you see fit, and just let us know. Try and do it in an unbiased fashion. So if you own one of these 4 devices, don't just crank all their scores up high or the weighted element is higher in the bits. Just do it honestly and let us know in the comments how you came out. Could be quite interesting. So, could spark a lot of debate, could spark a lot of abuse. Please don't abuse me for my opinions or how I've graded things. You're free to do it yourself and then tell us in the comments. So please do that. But for now, my name's Andy. I'll catch you all again soon. Well done, and thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, you might want to click the little fellow that should hopefully appear about here to subscribe. You may also want to check out some of my other videos, which are going to appear somewhere there. Also, come and have a look at my website, androidandy.uk. There is also a forum. Come and say hello on the forum if you've got any questions about things or request me to review things or anything else. Just come and have a chat on the forum.